Well, hello, welcome to my fake cooking show. Today we're making red lentil curry soup. Now this is one of my favorites. It's really simple, and I find that especially in this day of Zoom meetings, I need to have lunch, and soup is a great thing to be able to just grab, stick in the microwave, heat up on the stove, and go. So I've got 2 small onions and 3 kind of medium-sized carrots chopped and cooking in the pan. I've got red lentils that are washed and rinsed. I've got frozen tri-peppers from Trader Joe's, red, green, and yellow. The color of this curry is great. Tomatoes, cherry tomatoes that we're about to give up the fight in our kitchen, and I've cut them in half because there's nothing worse than eating a hot tomato or cherry tomato in a soup and having it explode and burn your mouth. And then I've got a ton of red cabbage left over from another thing we made earlier, and it's still good. So that's going in the pot as well. So right now, and then I've got 4 cups of vegetable broth that I've had, that I made with the guts of some other vegetables that I have chopped this week. So I'm always looking to make broth, and then I freeze it in a Ziploc bag or a plastic zipper bag. First I chill it on a cookie tray in the bag, and then I freeze it on the cookie tray. And then once it's completely frozen, then you just have a thin slab of broth, and you can slide it into your freezer pretty easily. So the onions and the carrots are really getting down. I want to go ahead and add the spices. So you just need I like a good amount of cinnamon, so it's maybe a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons, depending on how much cinnamon you like. And then I'm gonna go heavy on cumin, so I'm just gonna dump it all in there because I know that's what I'm gonna want. That's probably 3 tablespoons, but that's gonna be what gives it that good smoky flavor. I'm gonna give it a little bit of broth, but I want the spices to warm up, right? This recipe also calls for coriander or cilantro, but I don't like that, so I don't put it in. So that's what's going on there. I'm gonna put a little pinch of salt in, building flavors. And then I'm also gonna do a couple of shakes. Let's put the lid on and do the shaking of the red crushed pepper flakes, because I want it a little spicy too. That's enough. So that's all good. And then I'm gonna put the broth in and just kind of get the scrapey bits off the bottom, deglaze the pan a little bit. I'm wondering what kind of foods did you not grow up with? We didn't grow up with any curries. Chinese food, Italian food, French food, obviously, but not really any Indian curries or kind of cumin. My dad did a couple of tours in Turkey and in the Middle East in the 70s, and so there were some of those spices that kind of slid into our palate, but not a ton. So it wasn't really until probably college and really my time in the UK that kind of brought me into the land of curry. Not glad for the colonization of the world by the British Empire, but glad for the sharing of spices. So we've got that. It smells pretty good. We're gonna add the vegetables. Just get them all in the pot, everybody in. I just kind of feel like if this pot is full of vegetables, if I fill this guy up and then I put it into whatever I'm cooking, we're gonna be good. So, can you see that? Look at how that richness of all those colors, right? And then I'm gonna add the lentils and get them going. Then I'm gonna turn it up to a boil. I may need to add more water. If I add water, I'm probably gonna boil it so that it comes in at the same temperature as the soup. That's a lot of lentils. That's gonna be thick. But I'll just watch it as it kind of goes along. I'm making this actually in the morning. I very often cook on a Saturday morning, get something going, and then we'll kind of eat that as the weekend goes on. But my hope is that there might be still enough for my Monday and my Tuesday meetings. So I've got this beautiful color spectrum in the pot. Everybody's in. Really simple, really fast. I mean, the thing that takes the most amount of time for this dish is the chopping, which I did before because nobody wants to watch me chop. And then just letting it simmer. Now, if you wanted to eat it just right away, absolutely go for it. Once it comes to a boil and once the lentils have kind of plumped up a little bit, then you're absolutely ready for lunch or dinner. But I think the longer you let it cook, the more the flavors develop and the better and the richer it is. So that's what I'm gonna do, is I'm just gonna bring this up to a boil. I'm gonna let it sit on the stove all day. And then this will probably be lunch tomorrow. There you go, my friends. Look at that. Look at all of those colors. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, red lentil curry soup coming up. What are you cooking? What's your favorite soup? Bon appetit.